everyone, welcome to Melancholy Coaching Podcast. Join me as I interview inspiring business owners and self-improvement seekers while exploring business building, monetizing ideas and practical takeaways. Let's ignite our creative potential together. Hello and welcome to Melancholy Coaching Podcast, a show that highlights different business owners and ideas. I'm Fran, your NLP and Business Coach, and I'm pleased to introduce an inspiring guest. Emma is an entrepreneur and co-founder of the Bramble Group, where she and her husband David help ambitious professionals and entrepreneurs level up. She turned a modest cleaning business into a multi-six-figure enterprise and brings expertise from property development, large-scale events, and charitable fundraising. Emma had a unique childhood due to her parents running a huge charitable organisation that protected vulnerable women. Now in her fourth business, she uses these experiences to help others navigate uncertainty, start from scratch, and make bold, impactful decisions. Emma, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's lovely to be here, Fran. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. For complete transparency to anybody listening, we haven't actually met in person. We've connected online, haven't we? Which is wonderful.
Yeah, and I think, in this day and age, that's quite where a lot of connections are made, aren't they? And it seems weird to sort of say, oh, we met online. But I think ever since COVID, where we've had to adapt as a generation of people to doing everything online. So yes, so it doesn't faze me at all that it's a connection that we've made online. But then this is lovely now to be seeing each other in a Zoom room and being able to talk to each other this way.
I think that it shows for the tenacity of the human spirit, actually, that we love connecting with others and we love community.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of questions for you, and then
Okay.
we'll have a little chat around that if that's okay.
Okay. Thank you, Fran.
All right. So can you share a pivotal moment where you had to make a bold decision and what you learned from it?
So I think the most recent pivotal decision I had to make was to leave teaching. I'd retrained as a teacher and I was 13 years into my teaching career. And my mum had dementia and we were living in Surrey at the time. And I wanted to be with mum. I wanted to be able to support my sister who was basically bearing the burden of the care for mum. We did have carers, but it's never the same as having family involved as well.
I understand.
And my sister was sort of bearing the brunt of it all. And I just thought I want to be there. I want to be shoulder to shoulder. I want to be supporting my sister, but I also want to be with mum. And I knew that if I didn't make a big decision to give up everything that I was doing and move back, then I would regret that, not making that decision for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I did. We left Surrey, we sold our house, I left teaching, we moved back to Leamington Spa, back to the family home, and we moved husband, wife, 3 Labradors, one of the kids into a tiny 2-bedroom flat. And somehow or other we made it work. And I was then able to be with mum and with her when she died. And it was a privilege. It's obviously extremely sad, but it was also a privilege. And that showed me then sometimes you've got to make the decisions that aren't necessarily about money or career or whatever. They're about your values. And it's about what's important to you as a human being and you and your life. And that I made that decision based on my values. It got nothing to do with money. In fact, I lost my teaching income and had nothing to do with status. We moved from a 5-bedroom house into a 2-bedroom flat. It got nothing to do with anything that was about bettering our lifestyle or our situation or anything like that. It was all about coming back to what was important. And for me what was important was to be able to be with my mum, care for my mum, and be with her at that moment when she went to heaven. And that was pivotal. And on the back of that, I then thought, right, I was getting bored, obviously I need my brain to be occupied. But I thought, I don't want to go back to what I was doing before, which was 9 to 5, working for somebody else. I wanted to finally realize the dream of having my own business. And that's when it all started. So yes,
Excellent.
that I think is the pivotal moment.
And it certainly is a bold decision.
Mm,
And I'd just like to say as well, I always like to say about having no judgment. So there's no judgment for the decisions that other people make or, anything about that. This is about you in embodying who you are and moving
yes,
forward.
yes,
And
definitely.
I completely understand what you're saying with that because I was actually prior to COVID, I'd actually been a carer for over 25 years
Mm,
in different contexts, and I retrained
mm,
during that time.
yeah,
I chose to retrain.
yeah,
So I hear you on the care aspect.
yeah.
Got another question for you,
Oh, good. Thank you.
which is I'm a curious being. So, is what habits or routines have you developed that help you balance entrepreneurship, parenting, and your personal passions?
Well, I might not be giving the best answer because I'm still
That's
working out
okay.
how to balance them all.
Mm,
And I think the habits I am developing, I haven't got them fully nailed down yet.
mm,
Learning to close the laptop, end the day. Now, it's not healthy to be working every night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. It's not healthy to be getting into bed with your phone, checking all your emails. And it's not healthy. The first thing in the morning that you do is pick your phone up and look at it and start responding to texts and things like that. So it's trying to make sure that I do say, right, I'm closing the laptop, the phone's going off, I'm not doing any more work. And that's where, then it's making the time to be with my husband, to be with the kids. They are grown up now, so they're not as needing of me as if they were younger. But still, they're still relatively close to me geographically. So it's making the time to say, should we go out for dinner, or should we go and do some shopping together today, or whatever? Spend some time together. So it's making sure I am consciously closing down work, and the work brain has to stop, and it becomes about being with the family and that sort of thing. I also make sure work-life balance that we do have that me and my husband, we have time together. Now, it might be that we just go for a drink one evening at the end of the working day, but we will go, and we will go to one of our favorite little wine bars or something like that, and we will have a drink together and we will chat. And again, I think that's important because you're getting away from the work space and you are taking yourself out of that, and you are making sure that you're communicating with each other. That we will go away together. We'll go on little holidays together. We make that time as well. Make time to have a cuddle, hold hands, acts of service to each other. We've both, our love language is really clear. I love affirmation and acts of service, and so does he. So it works
mm,
quite well, really. But it is about making that time and not taking the other people in your life who've got you to where you are and are continuing to help you be where you are, not taking them for granted. But I'm not going to lie, it is hard. It is hard to hold that work-life balance in
yeah.
equilibrium. And I know it's a bit like that at the moment, and I have to keep sort of doing that. It's a constant battle, but
It's figuring out where your boundaries are
yeah.
and putting in your non-negotiables. But you have
Mm.
to
You
know
have
what they
to do it.
are and you have to be truly honest with yourself.
Yes, you have to do it. Otherwise, you're going to risk burnout, depression, all of these things are just exhaustion. And you just have to say, I am not going to do that, or that is going to have to wait until next week. And if that means I don't win a business deal, then so be it. It is tough. It's tough,
Yeah,
really tough to do it. But if you don't do it, then you're going to suffer.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I hear you. So that leads me beautifully on to the next thing that I'm curious about. So, what practical piece of advice would you give to professionals or entrepreneurs who are ready to level up, but they're feeling stuck?
So I would say you can't work it out on your own. You do need advice. You do need input from other professionals. Now, it might be that what you do, there is a lovely network on Facebook, a lovely community on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or something like that. Join it. ask questions, reach out to experts within that group, saying, I'm feeling a bit stuck about Y, or I'm feeling a bit stuck about X. That kind of investment in yourself is so important, because in that time you're finding out two things. First of all, probably finding out the answer to your question, but you're also finding out that you're not alone, and that your feelings of stuckness, whatever they are being experienced by other
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, other people in your boat that also want to level up. That was a big eye opener for me. I mean, the first of the businesses was the cleaning business. And I was a solo trader initially. Obviously now
Yeah.
I've got staff and everything. We've got a very big business, but it started out, it was just me doing it with the cleaning business. And I thought this was what it was all like. And then I found a really good professional cleaning community on Facebook. I joined it, and actually, I realized that some of the problems or some of the nuances that were stressing me out was what everybody experiences in that sort of cleaning world. I've also, in that group, met really, really lovely people, and we've become really good friends. And we meet, we talk, we share ideas that improve all of us.
I love
Ideas for
that.
business and business things. We just done it this weekend, actually. We've all been up in Derbyshire for a weekend, and we booked a hotel,
Yeah, lovely.
and we spent the whole day goal mapping, teaching each other the things that we're
Yeah.
experts at, and we've all learned from each other. So that would be my first thing. You're going to have to define the person we're talking to, listening. What is your stuck? Is it
Yeah.
that you don't know how to do Y in order to get further in your business? Find a group, a professional group online that is in line with what you do. So for me, it was the cleaning. So if you've got, I don't know, you've got a dance school or something like that, find dance groups, get in there, ask questions, join that group, join that group. If it's things like that are actually more expertise based, so maybe it's something to do with finance, maybe it's something to do with systems, CRMs and things like that, find the expert, leverage that desire for what you need, get your training, or
Yeah.
get somebody in to
And
do things that you need to do.
there's often kind of complementary things that you can access because maybe they've got a particular email they can send you, or there's a brochure. But there's
Yeah,
also that investment of money as well
yeah,
in the right group and the right training or the right expertise. So there's
yeah,
different points in which people can
yeah,
access this, isn't there? There's
yeah,
always something to find. It's
yeah.
about getting curious about it, and
Mm,
and also acknowledging that it's okay to not do everything yourself.
yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. And I think part of when you are as an entrepreneur and you've got a business, or you've got a fledgling business, and you've got all
Yeah.
these wonderful ideas, we think that we can do it all, or we feel that we ought to do it all. And very rarely are we a human being that is completely 100% rounded and capable of doing absolutely everything. You're either more into spreadsheets, or you're more into the creative side. And I think that we all do things like SWOT analysis, right.
Yeah.
So, what's good about my business, what's not so good, where are my strengths, where are my weaknesses? And I think we should do that about ourselves a bit more.
I
You know, what
agree.
what are you an enthusiastic expert about? So for me, it is about the people, selling, getting that deal over the line, getting that idea. Everyone else go, yes, I want, yes, let's do it, let's do it. I'm brilliant at that. I'm not so good at the data. In fact, I hate spreadsheets. I've teaching myself about CRMs, and it is a struggle. Um, so I am an enthusiastic expert in one area, and I am an absolutely lackadaisical amateur in another area. And if you could sit down and analyze which things are you experts and enthusiastic about, which bits do you hate and just don't want to do and have got no desire to do, and those things are the things that you need to get support on, whether it's by
That's that's important actually, because sometimes it isn't just about the things that we do not know how to do because maybe we haven't learned, or it's about what don't we actually want to do.
yes,
What do we really just don't like the thought of, or we've tried and we don't enjoy it? And it's okay to get the help on and the guidance on that, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
And that sometimes can unstick you, just
Ah,
unstick that element of your dream, of your entrepreneurial journey, of your business.
yeah,
And then there's also the other thing that you can say, right, well, I'm an enthusiastic amateur at this. And that is where you're naturally good at the enthusiastic expert bit. You don't need to worry about that. That's what you're naturally good at. But there'll be elements of your business that you think, I really like that I'm really into that. I just don't know enough about it. And that's when you invest in your training.
yeah,
So, and you do the course, you do whatever it is about that you need to do for that, and then you become the enthusiastic expert at that side of the business. But I think it is we're very good at doing SWOT analysis on our businesses. How many times do we do it on ourselves? And that I think, well, if we can do that on ourselves, it does start to unpick the stickiness
yeah.
and does kind
Amazing.
of
Thank
help
you.
us to
Yeah,
get
I
through
love all of that.
about getting unstuck.
Yeah, completely makes sense. Thank you for that. So
Pleasure.
I'm gonna just ask you what's next for you, like what's coming up for you. Have you got anything that
Yeah,
you're
so
planning?
yes, we've just launched our a fourth business. Sounds like I'm a collector of businesses, but they all actually sort of support and complement each other. So the final one is the Bramble Group. And what we want to do with that is Dave, my husband and I, we've got so much lived experience. And it's like you said in my bio at the beginning, we want to now share that lived experience with
Yeah,
other entrepreneurs, business owners and decision makers really who want to be doing better, want to be they are the sorts of people that are probably completely and utterly in their business, in completely and utterly in their day-to-day world, and they are drowning a little bit. And they want clarity, they want a business that is going to make them money, and without them stuck right in the middle of it all, so that the business therefore can grow. And
sometimes it's hard to step back and look at it from that global perspective
yeah,
of
but they
of
want to,
yeah,
and they know they need to, because
yeah,
if they don't, then they're either going to burn out or they're going to become overwhelmed by everything, and the business will suffer because it can't grow if it's big, if you're the bottleneck,
yeah.
if you're stopping it from flowing further. So, but also at the same time, have fun doing it, enjoy the journey of being an entrepreneur, running your own business, being the business person. It is hard work. It's not going to just fall into your lap, the deals, the money, the growth, the status. It's not going to fall in your lap. Anything worth having is hard to get. You've got to work at it. And you are going to be working lots and lots and lots and lots of hours. But there's no reason why you can't have fun and enjoy that journey as well. So the Bramble Group is about supporting people who are somewhere in that sort of spectrum that I've just been talking about.
So
And
could that be, apologies interrupting, could that be a solopreneur? Could that be a business, a small business, or established business already?
it could
Is
be
there
any one
any?
of those. Be
Yeah,
any of those small business, established business, solopreneur. It can also be somebody who doesn't necessarily have their own business. They just want to be a better decision maker. They might be very
love that.
effective in the job that they're doing, but there are
Yeah,
elements of what they're doing that they're struggling with. Maybe it is managing a team, maybe it is managing suppliers or customers, but they have a responsibility to be managing that team, those customers, those suppliers, and they're struggling with it because they can't see the wood for the trees, or there's elements of how they operate that are holding them back. So we're not going to be necessarily people that you would employ to be a mentor for 6 months or a year.
yeah,
We would be people that we would come in, see what the problem is, and help you through to the other end. And then that might be the end of our relationship. Or you might have us back in a few months' time, or you might get us to do something different. But one of the things we also are going to be doing with the Bramble Group, we've got the first one is on the 4th of March. We're curating in-person speaker days. So I'll be speaking, my husband will be speaking as well. But we've got other people speaking, and they are serious, high profile business owners and business
Yeah.
people. And they're speaking from lived experience. This isn't people who've learned something through a textbook or gone on a course. We've got Jaguar Land Rover are going to be there, and they're going to be talking about how sometimes brand has to change. Your brand has to evolve because the culture changes. We've got a luxury fashion designer there, very high end, and she's talking about how, the high ticket sale, that trying to move your business from maybe just, trying to fight with everybody else at the bottom of the heap to being the high premium luxury end, so that you end up basically you're doing less, but you're doing it better and you're actually making more money in the process. So it's not about volume, it's about quality of what you do, and therefore does actually alleviate the problems of burnout, because you're not
Yeah.
working all hours that God sends you. You're not going for every deal, every sale, whatever. Um, and your profit margins are better, for example.
Yeah,
You know,
because sometimes it can be potentially a business owner can feel like they're really, really busy and they're doing a lot, but it's not moving the needle forward, is
no,
it?
no,
They're stuck in something
yeah.
and
And
potentially going round,
going round
in
and
a
round
circle.
like a little hamster on a wheel, going round and round and
Yeah,
round and round and round. And it's only just a few tweaks that need to just stop that merry-go-round for you to
yeah,
get off it and do something differently that suddenly makes your business experience more rewarding on every level, not just financially, but from an emotional point of view, from a physical point of view, from a mental point of view as well. And that's sort of, when we come back to the beginning question about work-life balance, it's suddenly that starts to level out a bit more because you are doing less, but you're doing it better. So those sort of things, we can do one-to-ones, and we can do short, sharp fixes
yeah.
for very specific things. But the in-person speaker days are really good. We're going to be doing about 3 this year. And the first one is on the 4th of March. It's in Leamington Spa. And as I said, we've got Jaguar, we've got this global fashion brand there, but we've got a neuroscientist there who's talking about what's going on in your brain when you
See, that's what I'm interested in.
so he's fascinating. So
Yeah,
when we say I can't do something, or I'm not, or I'm just this, I'm not that, that's our brain in flight mode. And of course, the more you say this sort of thing to yourself, the more
more you believe it.
you believe it, because of course your brain's a muscle and it gets
Yeah,
used to working in a particular way. So he is able to unpick what was going on in your brain when you are saying things like that, and what you need to do to overcome it. And also what's going on in your brain when you're trying to sell to a customer, and what's going on in the customer's brain when they're being sold to. What
yeah,
do they want to feel? What do they want to hear? What do they want to experience when you speak to them? And he's going to be talking about that as well. So that is, I think, going to be utterly fascinating, and things that people can literally take away with them and put into practice the next day.
yeah, it is. Because
And then
a simplified version would be, that things are sold on emotion. You sell the emotion of how you want the person to feel or how the buyer's going to feel. But to
yeah,
get more into the brain of the buyer,
yeah.
because that's still quite a general thing, isn't it? Sell on the emotion. Well, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, what
You
does it
know?
mean? Will I just jump up and down on the spot and get really, really excited, and you'll get really excited, and then you'll buy my product? It's
Yeah,
actually, what is it that person that you're selling to, what is it that they need, and does your product match what they need? And then you've got to learn how to sell it, of course.
yeah,
And then we're talking about, as I said, that sort of, do you want to move your business from sort of bread and butter, bargain basement, you're all fighting at the bottom for the same customer for the same price, or do you want to be the one that's there? And that people, we want that person, we want that person. Now it will mean that you've got to put your prices up, and that involves a mindset shift.
of course. Yeah,
We always undersell ourselves. We're frightened to say, well, actually no, I am worth that amount of money per hour.
yeah,
And it's having that confidence to say it and then sell it in that respect. So we'll be doing some stuff on that. And then we've also got a lot of thing about resilience and decision making and problem solving. And this comes really from two of the speakers who've literally been in life and death situations, and they have a problem and they need to solve it. And they're telling their story about how they solved it. Now, it's not just a story, they're then going to give, as a result of that,
Yeah.
real tools that anybody in the room would be able to use to say, well,
Yeah. Here are the steps you can implement.
and I can get, how do I get around this problem?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that there's, it's going to be great. It's a whole day, and it's in Leamington Spa, and I'm super, super excited about it. And I think, yeah,
Very much sounds to me as though the Bramble Group, it's quite centered around strategy. That's
yes,
the strategy, the implementation, where the gaps are, identifying where the gaps are, or what's holding, like as you say, holding you stuck, and then to move you and the business forward.
but also
Just
then having that the tools to be able to do. It's
yeah,
not just simply strategy. I think if we're not business strategists, we're not saying, right, this is what's going wrong. So we would then be saying, this is how you put it right, and this is what you need to do. And then there would be accountability. So we'll come back and say, right,
yeah.
have you done what have you,
So there's a full journey in there from like,
fortunately,
almost like diagnosis to
yeah,
this is what
to
you can do.
treatment, to cure.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I see it now. So it's a bigger picture, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Because I think there are lots of people out there who are very, very good at diagnosing the problem, and it's great. You feel a sense of relief when you go, all right, now I now understand why it's going wrong, or I now understand why I'm stuck. Okay, well, what do I do? So that's the next layer, isn't it?
Yeah.
You work out what the stickiness is, what's going wrong. Right, this is how we're going to mend it and fix it and make it right. This is how you're going to do it so that you can put into practice all those tools. I'm going to check on you. Right, is it working? Why is it not working? Do we need to tweak it, or are you just ignoring the problem? It's constant. There would be a relation, absolutely is a relationship with the customer, with the client.
I
Is
I feel slightly called out on the term ignoring the problem, but I'm not going to be alone on that one.
we all do that. We all do that when there's something we don't like doing, or we're not very good at. It's either called procrastination or the ostrich effect, isn't it? If I bury my head in the sand long enough, I won't see it, therefore it will go away. We've all got things that we know either we're not particularly good at
Mm,
or we don't like doing.
mm.
And of course, there is. My mum used to have the phrase. It was called "eat the monkey first." I just think, poor monkey, but eat the monkey first. Nobody wants to eat a monkey, but the monkey is representation of that thing that you don't want to do, for whatever
Yeah,
reason it is.
to
If
do that first, and
you do it
if
first,
that's the block.
and your day is going to be a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
But yeah, I do feel sorry for the monkey.
Right. So, do you know what? It's all good. It's all good. Especially
Yeah.
if they're little mind monkeys as well. Just get those eaten and out of the way. It's all good.
Or monkey. Everybody who loves monkeys.
Well,
But anyway, but it is a phrase of
it's similar to eat the frog, isn't it? It's a
eat the
similar
frog is the other one.
concept
It's
to eat the
exactly
frog.
the same.
So
Yeah.
you can replace it with a word of your choice.
Yes, I think frog would be the better word for me because I quite like monkeys. I hate frogs.
Oh, dear, that's fine. See, I love all of them, but I'd still eat the frog. If it meant me getting that job done,
Yeah.
and that was the term that kind of moved it forward for me, then I'd absolutely do
But
it.
sometimes, we know we've got to do that job, but if we don't know how to do it,
I know.
then we've got to
Yeah.
have a way around that. And
But
sometimes
that's even the thing when even raise your prices, sell your worth kind of thing. It's like, but how? How?
yeah.
Where's the
Well, you
it
see,
needs to be broken down more, doesn't it?
we would show you how to do that, and we would give you
Yeah.
a method for doing that, and then you can go and have a go at it. And so far, we've been proven right every single time. And there is a
Yeah.
method, about how you do things, and follow the method, put it into practice, and you will see the results.
Yeah. And if everything needs to be tried and tested, doesn't it?
Yes.
And that's where your accountability comes in and the tweaks come into it. And is it working? And if not, go
Yeah.
back in and
Yeah, yeah,
make those changes. Yeah, I
exactly.
hear
Yeah,
you.
good.
Right, so thank you, Emma. Thank you for sharing your journey and your insights.
My pleasure.
Um, and I want to say unwavering determination with our listeners today. I was also going to ask you, how do you feel about the term serial entrepreneur? Because I very nearly said, because you're an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, of many businesses, and I nearly said serial entrepreneur, and I just wondered how you'd feel about that term.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds as though you do one thing, you get bored of it, then you start another one, then you start another one.
Yeah,
Start
but it
another.
doesn't
There's
quite,
no
even
stickiness.
saying multi-passionate doesn't quite cover it either. So it's literally just an entrepreneur with several businesses.
I think what it is with entrepreneurs, I think with anybody that started up a business, businesses evolve,
Mm,
and I think that's the exciting thing about it. And I mean, my first business was a neon sign, a design company. I've still got it, and I'm still selling neon signs, still designing them, but I've niched down in it, and so it's more the handmade glass ones that we do now, rather
mm,
than the LED ones that you see everywhere on the internet and stuff like that. But from that then comes all the underlying theme with all of them is about making lives better for other people. Now, with the glass neon, you have a beautiful bespoke glass neon in your bar, in your restaurant, in your home. Honestly, I promise you, it transforms the vibe straight away. It moves it from sterile to cozy to bland to beautiful. It's all that. So there is that. I transform spaces,
yeah.
homes, environments with just a creation
And
with
then you can
one
also
card.
transform businesses and mindsets and,
Yeah, and
you
then with
know,
the cleaning, we're transforming your home. We're making it
yeah.
beautiful. The one of the bylines of the cleaning business is that we're deliverers of happiness. Because if you
I
come home,
like it. Yeah,
you walk into a clean office or you walk into a clean home, and you're like,
yeah.
oh,
Feels amazing.
I feel absolutely amazing. You're suddenly really happy.
Yeah.
So,
So it's
again,
it's that they, like you say, they all complement each other.
they all complement each other. And the Bramble
Yeah.
Group is just now an extension of everything that we have learned and experienced in our lives, not just with the businesses that we have grown and scaled and still have. So they're not things that we did and they didn't quite work out and they've disappeared off the face of the earth. And we don't forget, we've forgotten about them as far as Companies House is concerned. They're very much alive and kicking and they're doing really, really well. But it's the stuff we did before the businesses. David was in the army for 28 years, 21 of them I was by his side. I learned so much about change, transformation, resilience, all of this sort of thing, making decisions to retrain in order not to be out of work every time we moved. All that sort of things, the things I did before I met David, they're all lived experiences. And I'm nearly 60. David is already 60. It's time for us now to use all of that knowledge and all that life experience that we have gathered and accumulated over the years to make businesses and business lives for other people brilliant and help them transform how they do things, where they're going to go and how they're going to get there. And as I said, enjoy the journey doing it as well.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, it becomes a whole story then, doesn't it? It's the whole picture of what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And for those of you interested in learning more about Emma, you can find her on Facebook as Emma Brambell. You're also on Instagram and it's Emma_Bramble and LinkedIn. So you're over on LinkedIn. It's the Bramble Group is on LinkedIn, isn't it?
Yes. Well, it's actually the page is my personal page, so it's Emma Brambell again. So I've kept it
Okay.
very consistent. So
Yeah.
there's, if you whichever platform is your preferred, you'll find me under Emma Bramble in some guise or form. The only one I'm not on is TikTok, just because I can't get my head around it.
Which is okay because there's that thing about visibility and what your intention is of visibility,
Yeah,
and being in all the places and having all the things but we can choose where to show up.
yeah.
And I think it also goes deeper than where we think our ideal audience is. It's
What you
also where we're comfortable, where we choose to
100%.
show up, yeah, and you will grow an audience from there, won't you?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
And then obviously we're on the internet as well. So the Bramble Group, if you just look that up, you'd find us there. But yeah, but socials is the way to start. So check me out.
amazing. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in more content like this, be sure to visit www.melancholymentor.com. So that's me. You can follow us for the latest updates. And until next time, stay curious, keep igniting your creative potential, and go and find Emma Brambell.
Thank you. I look forward.
Thank you so much for today.
That's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's been glorious.
Oh, you're welcome. Very welcome. Thank you for listening. I'd love you to subscribe and visit www.melancholymentor.com for the latest updates. Until next time, stay curious and keep igniting your creative potential.